I flew in on a plane with propellers. Propellers. Like to do my impression of our pilot. Okay, this is your captain speaking. I'm gonna get us up in the air, and then I'll come round with your drinks. Scared the shit out of me. Oh, so I'm already terrified of flying. I'm terrified of it. Do you know what I'm not afraid of? Valium. And I show that fearlessness every time I get on a plane. I am Valiumed out of my mind. I still think that I'm going to die. I just don't give a fuck. Captain could come over the intercom, the masks could drop, he could say we're all going down. I think it's all part of the psychedelic dream sequence meditation experience. This upsets my mother. So obviously doing this gig, you got to fly a lot. You know, my mum's like, Jesus Christ, John, that is a lot of Valium. John, you have to face your fears and learn something about yourself. So my mum, to help me face my fears and learn something, she booked me for my birthday a skydive. To help me face my... First thing I learned is that I am afraid of jumping out of the thing that I'm afraid of. 100%. Has anybody here ever done a tandem skydive? No. Yes, where are you, sir? I love how you knew no one in the room had done one. So, John, I took a look at everyone as they walked through the door, and I have a pretty good eye for these things, John, and I can tell you pretty accurately not one fucking person here has done a skydive. They don't have the look in their eyes, John. It's a science. Except you fucking marvelous hero. Where are you? What's your name, brother? Daniel, where you do your skydive, Daniel? Middlesbrough. In Middlesbrough, Daniel, in Middlesbrough. None of this fucking going to like Australia shit for you, Danny. Keeping the fucking money local. You know what I mean? Middlesbrough too, fucking hell. I'd say there was a split second on the way down. You thought, fuck it, if this chute doesn't open, who gives a fuck? It could be for the best. No, I'm only kidding, Dan. I'm only fucking around, buddy. Now, Danny, correct me if you think this is unfair. So what Dan and I did when we did our tandem skydive, we didn't really do a skydive. What happened was Dan and I showed up and we wore somebody who was doing a skydive. We wore them like a goddamn jetpack, didn't we, Dan? Now, Dan, how did you find it being strapped into the groin of a tall, dark, handsome Middlesbrough man? Very comfortable, Dan. I hear what you're saying, Dan. I love your bravery, buddy. Now listen, Dan, did you have a little guilt-free wriggle? It could be the end of you. It could be your last day here on the earth. Carpe diem and all that shit. Don't leave a stone unturned. Don't you mind them, Dan. Did you have a little book? You did. Good man yourself, Dan. Good man yourself. Don't look at your lady, Dan. This is between you and me. This is two survivors talking here, ladies and gentlemen. It could get very emotional. But Dan, I swear, when I arrived to do my skydive... Are you all right, bro? You what?
What did your mum say?
What did my mum say? See, he is fucking paying attention, you see? And we all doubted him. Everyone in this room doubted him. The man is a fucking chess player. He's 6 moves ahead. 6 moves ahead. And we misjudged him. Shame on us, ladies and gentlemen. Shame on us. So I got there. I arrived to do my skydive, Dan. You want to see my instructor? I swear to God, he was this fucking monster of a man. He was like, he's about 6'5". He's ripped and he's got a beard on him. Like, it's a hipster beard, but that doesn't really describe it. You ever seen like an 1850s gold prospector? You know what I mean? Like a proper fucking, like, down to the belly. Like, this was a vocational beard. This was a lifetime in the making, you know? And I'm all nervous as hell. And I see this David Coyote, Adonis of a man. I'm freaking out. I'm saying all sorts of ridiculous stuff to him. I'm like, we'll get to that. He's already there. He's like, I'm so nervous, man. I'm like, I'm bullshitting him. I'm like, so do you do this often? And I can just see the respect for me drain from his face. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm so nervous, I can't even, you remember the jumpsuit they put you in, Dan? They put you in that jumpsuit. I'm like the dude's telling me he's a sculptor during the week. He sculpts stone, brings stone to life with his hands. I can't hang a fucking picture up by myself. So my little fella's retreating up inside of me, he's disappearing, and then I'm shaking, I can't do up the jumpsuit, so the dude has to stoop down, lean into me, and close my buttons for me, like I was this little baby bitch. And then we get in the plane. Do they strap you in on the ground or during the ascent, Dan? During the ascent, me too. So what happens is Dan and I are up the front of the plane and we're freaking the fuck out. We're thinking to ourselves, this is the stupidest thing an intelligent person could possibly do. I'm about to jump out of a plane with a rucksack and a sheet of plastic attached to some prick I met 16 minutes ago who I'm trusting with my life. I deserve to die for this. There's any justice in the world. And my mother's trying to kill me. Why is that bitch trying to kill me? And this is all going on in your head, and what happens then is your instructor will just creep up behind you, right? Because they know you're nervous, so they creep up behind you with the belt to attach you to them in their hands, right? And they come up behind you like a ninja, barely a sound, because they know you're nervous. And what they do is they loop the belt around your waist. What they start doing is they just start winching you into them. So they just start winching you in tighter and tighter and tighter. It was so fucking tight, Dan, wasn't it? Oh, it was so tight, Dan. Jesus Christ. Dan remembers. He remembers. And I could feel his beard tickling at my face. Tie it back, Jesus. His breath was making my ear all dewy. You know what I mean? I don't mean that in a religious sort of way. I could taste that he'd had an onion on his breakfast. There's a hint of paprika. It was horrific. And I'm freaking out, you know what I mean? And my head's going mad, and suddenly I'm thinking to myself, shut the fuck up. I'm thinking to myself, I'm going, Jesus fucking Christ, John, you're that freaked out by this. Because suddenly I was more nervous about the fact that I was strapped into this bloke than I was about the fact that I was about to jump out of a plane. You know what I mean? And I was freaking out. I was thinking, oh, this harness is chafing at me. And then I was thinking to myself, I hope that that's the fucking harness. And my head was gone mad, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking to myself, Jesus, you're not freaked out by this, John. Maybe deep, deep down, like way deep down in the subconscious, you're either a teeny, tiny, teeny, leeny bit homosexual or a little bit homophobic. And this freaked the fuck out of me. I started in theatre, man. A lot of my friends are gay men and women. In fact, I've shared a flat in London for the last 8 years with one of my closest friends who is a gay man. And I forgot to let him know I'm coming home from the road. And the things that I have seen happening on the couch where I watch my Netflix. And I've been delighted for everybody involved. I've been like, oh, sorry, good on you, Dan. Nice score, man. Get that cock into you. Have a great time, buddy. Get that cock in. You've been under a lot of stress with work recently. Get both those cocks into you. Enjoy yourself. I've been fixing the lads green tea and isotonic drinks, making sure everybody in there stays hydrated. I thought I was the least homophobic man ever, but I've never felt like joining in. So I was thinking, what the fuck's going on in my head? But then suddenly, remember they opened the door of the plane, Danny. Remember that? And it's such a shitty little, they just flick this little switch and it's like a patio door opens, isn't it? And then you see those clouds. And when I saw those clouds, my fleeting homophobia was cured. Oh, it vanished in that instant. I saw those clouds. As soon as I saw them, I started backing into them. No, cancel, no fucking doing it, cancel, abort. I was grabbing his beard to inhale some of his manly musk for bravery. You know, I was like, fucking, you're disgracing yourself, John. Be a man, pull it together, be a real man. I didn't give a shit about the fact that I was strapped into another man's crotch. I could not have cared less. All I could think about was the belt that held me to the man with the parachute, because I'm not stupid, Dan. I knew if anything happened to that belt, two of us were falling to the earth. One of us had a fucking parachute. Just like him, thinking ahead. So in the name of safety, because I wanted to live, I started testing the connection by doing this. Now that's solid, John. Look at barely budging a millimeter, John. Now this is gonna hold you all the way to the earth, John. This isn't the end for you. You're gonna survive this, John. This isn't the end. And then I realized what I was doing. That I was accidentally twerking him. So I stopped, and I hoped that he hadn't noticed. And his big bushy face nestled into my shoulder. And he said, here, what's the difference between a Ferrari and an erection? I don't have a Ferrari. I wasn't expecting it, Dan. Wasn't it? Because you're always hard to hear up there. It's windy, isn't it, Dan? It's windy. So he said it to me, and I was like, huh? And in that moment, he dry humped me into the clouds. And we were falling, and I thought I'd be thinking like, oh, I'm flying like a bird human. But I wasn't thinking any of that shit. All I was thinking was, is he serious? It's like, is this my backdoor entrance into the Mile High Club? And the whole way down, I kept just scanning the earth, just searching for a Ferrari. So we've been together for 3 years now.